everyone, the Big Easy Chef here. Today we're going to be making chicken gravy. Now this is the gravy you make when you need some gravy and haven't cooked a chicken. You know, when you make biscuits or mashed potatoes and need some gravy to pour over them. This gravy's easy to make and turns out very tasty. So let's not waste any more time. Why don't you and I run into that kitchen and see what's a-shaking and get to baking. For this gravy, I'm using 8 wing flats from the chicken. This will be plenty of chicken. You could use other parts from the chicken, such as the wing tips, necks, backs, etc. We're going to rinse off our chicken flats and dry them with a paper towel. With the chicken flats dried, place them in a bowl. To the chicken, add some kosher salt, maybe about a teaspoon. You don't have to measure the salt, you just want enough to give some flavor. Now add some fresh ground pepper. Again, you don't have to measure, just toss in some pepper. That looks good enough. So now toss your wings to get them all coated with the spices. It looks like this chicken needs a little more salt and pepper. Don't be shy, throw some more in, and then toss the chicken some more. Okay, now that looks good. Dump in some flour, about 1/2 cup. Bread or all-purpose flour will work just fine. I'm using bread flour. Toss the chicken in the flour to coat all of the chicken. Remove the chicken from the flour, shake off any excess flour, and place the chicken on a plate. In a large skillet, pour in some oil, say 1/2 cup, just enough to cover the chicken about halfway up. I'm using canola oil. Any high temperature oil will do. Stay away from low temperature oils, such as olive oil. Turn the heat on high. When the oil is hot, maybe about 360 degrees Fahrenheit, then start placing your chicken in the oil. Be careful when placing the chicken in the oil. Don't just drop or toss the chicken in. Lower the chicken slow into the pan. Turn the heat down to maintain the temperature. I would say between 360 to 370 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want to cook it too slow. You want to brown the chicken so it comes out nice and crispy. This is where we are going to get the flavor for our gravy. Okay, now turn over your chicken when it's nice and brown, about 4 or 5 minutes. Now you can see how brown this chicken is. There's a lot of flavor being made right here, and it's going to taste really good in our gravy. Now this chicken's been frying for about 5 minutes or more, and it's cooked all the way through, and it's nice and brown. Remove the chicken from the pan. Now drain the oil from your skillet and place the skillet back on the burner. Turn the heat to medium-high heat. Can you see those little pieces of chicken in the bottom of the skillet? This is where we're going to get some really great flavor for our gravy. But I think we're going to need a little more flavor to this gravy. So take some of that skin that has the breading on it off of your chicken and chop it up into small pieces. Add the skin to the skillet. I know this is going to make our chicken gravy somewhat lumpy, but this is going to be a good thing. Now add 1/4 cup of chopped yellow onion or any sweet onion. Mix the onion around a little. The moisture from the onion will release some of those tasty bits from the bottom of the pan. Now to really get this pan deglazed, add 1 cup of white wine. Cheap wine will work just fine. You know, that $2 chuck wine is fine. We're going to mix this around, scraping those bits off the bottom of the pan. Now add 1 tablespoon of dried parsley, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of dried savory, pardon the steam, 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of dried sage. Keep the skillet on medium heat and keep stirring and allow the mixture to reduce to about 1/2 or 2/3 less. Now turn the burner to medium-low. At this point, add some kosher salt, about 1 to 1.5 teaspoons. Sprinkle in some fresh ground black pepper, about a teaspoon. We'll be tasting this later, so we can always add more. You don't want to overdo it now. Place 1/2 cup, 1 cube of unsalted butter. Stir around the butter. Now add 1/2 cup of flour. Bread or all-purpose flour will work just fine. Mix the butter and flour into your gravy. Once the butter is all melted and the flour is combined, keep stirring for at least 2 minutes. Now I know this is looking like a huge mess in the pan, but hang in there, our mouth-watering gravy is almost done. Okay, now dump in 3 cups of chicken stock. Chicken broth would also work fine. Stir in the chicken stock to get it well combined with the other ingredients. At this point, the gravy's looking pretty thin, but keep stirring. Oh, right before your eyes, the gravy is getting thick. Now it's too thick, so this is why we have another cup of chicken stock to add to the gravy. This is going to make this gravy turn out just perfect. Keep stirring as the gravy is going to thicken very soon. If it's taking too long to thicken, turn up the heat. However, be sure to watch your gravy and keep stirring it. This is a point where you'll want to taste your gravy. And this gravy needs a little more pepper, maybe a dash or 2, or 3. This gravy is really getting nice and thick, just the way we want it. Remove the gravy from the heat when it is as thick as you want it to be. Remember, the gravy will thicken the more it cools. To thin it out, just add a little chicken stock or water. Okay, I would say this gravy is done. It's thick, full of chicken flavor, and just has the right herbs and spices. Okay, now you know what time it is. It's time to dig in. Where's a biscuit or some mashed potatoes when you really need them? You can tell the Colonel that you won't be stopping by anymore for his gravy, as you'll be making your own, and it's the best ever. So salute the Colonel and bid him adieu. Now, you can see how easy it is to make your own chicken gravy. I hope you'll be making some soon, and this will become your favorite recipe for chicken gravy. Be sure to check out my website, thebigeasychef.com. There are printable recipes and instructions. It's all for free. No passwords, no email required, no obligation. So check it out. Remember what they say, you are what you eat, so eat healthy. Until next time, I am the Big Easy Chef.